G'day guys, hope you're doing well. It is now time for some AFL Gridley, the nightly grid on the 26th of August. Let's log in and see how we go. Alright, here we go. Well, it's always nice to see a Richmond logo here. That definitely helps my cause out dramatically. But the 1970s piece is going to be the one that troubles me, given I was born in 87. Played during the 70s decade, 70 to 79. Okay, self-explanatory. Okay, we'll start from the top here. Port Adelaide and Richmond. There's a couple of doozies. There's Jay Schultz would be one. David Roden would be one. Mitch Farmer was one I was tossing up between him and David Roden when I first saw that pop up. Normally people would have Mitch Farmer, I wouldn't have thought. But the one I'm actually going to go with is someone I've actually interviewed. And it's going back a little bit. But Chris Naish actually did play some games for Port Adelaide as well towards the end of his career. So Naishi, 2%. I didn't think many would have Naishi. Port Adelaide and the Cats. Nothing really... Oh, the only one that actually comes to mind is Stephen Motlop, but I feel like that's going to be a popular answer. Nothing else really springs to mind. But those two teams, I'm sure there'll be another really obvious one, but given Port and Geelong aren't exactly my strengths, let's just go with Stephen Motlop because it's going to bring us an answer. 29%. That's still not too bad, but I knew it wasn't going to be great. But yeah, here's what it is. North Melbourne and the Tigers. I'll come back to the 200 games. We'll do North Melbourne and the Tigers. Coleman Jones, we sent there recently in a wonderful trade. Who else has gone to the Kangaroos from us? Or have we taken from the Kangaroos? Nahas would be the other one that's probably popular. But the one I'm going to go with didn't play many games for the Roos. Only didn't play too many for us either. Had high hopes, just never put on weight, the poor bloke. Connor Menadue. Connor Menadue played for both those clubs. 2%, very good. I'm tipping Nahas might have been the most popular one there. But yes. Kangaroos and the Cats. Again, this isn't going to be... Why has it got a question mark there? Oh, okay, play at least one game for the North Melbourne Kangaroos are currently on their list. Right. North Melbourne and the Cats. Sean, no, he was the Bulldogs, wasn't he? Yeah, he was the Bulldogs. The only one that sticks out to me, and it's only because I've seen him on the bounce when they did I think they did some segment with half Guernseys, and he had half North Melbourne, half Geelong, and that was Cameron Mooney. I think I'm going to stick with Cam Mooney only because I don't know much else about their other players that would have crossed over. I'm kind of just wanting to get a guaranteed hit, to be honest. 16%, we'll take that. If anyone knows if there's any ones with a lesser percentage, let me know in the comments below. 200 games. I'm going to leave the 70s to last because that's what I'm going to struggle with the most. Port Adelaide, 200 games. Tipping Treadray would have played 200. Primus, maybe. There's Boak. Recently played, was it 150 or 200? I know he had a milestone not long ago. The one I'm actually going to go for, though, didn't finish his career at Port Adelaide, but he still played for Port Adelaide. Oh, I'll make sure that... Okay, he played at least one game for Port. Cool. Okay, so it should work. Sean Burgoyne, Silk. Obviously played quite a few games at the Hawks as well. But he obviously started off at the Power. 5%, we'll take that. So that's a good get. North Melbourne, 200 games. Obviously, Boomer Harvey played a ton. Did Anthony Stevens and Glenn Archer, they hit 200? It's so hard because there's been a few of these that have been 200 games or 250 games, and I've kind of just fallen short because they might have been on high 100s or something like that. It's really tricky. Archer, Stevens, Carey, what a trio, just quietly. It's so hard. Thinking even back to their older players like McKernan and Mick Martin. Like, I know they played a heap of games. I just don't know if they cracked 200 or not. Peter Bell is probably the other one. I know he played... Did he go to Fremantle as well? I think it's some... Or is he working there? Either way. I'm going to try Peter Bell because I just think other players like... I mean, Boomer Harvey's obviously very obvious. So I'm tipping he's going to be the highest picked one. So let's go Peter Bell. Oh, 1% for Peter Bell. Giddy up. That's a great get. Shit. Keen to hear who everyone went for this one then as well, given I got the 1%. Now, played in the 1970s. Oh, Jesus. The Richmond one I'll be okay with. So there's players like Hart, Kevin Bartlett. I feel like for Richmond supporters, they might be the more obvious ones to go with. Rex Hunt was another one. Good Rexy. I feel like some of those names are too household. So we're obviously trying to go for, lowest percentage possible. The one I'm going to go with is only because his son is our VFL coach, which is Steve Morris, and his father, Kevin Morris, played for the Tigers in the 70s. I'm hoping no one's connected the dots. Oh, 0.2%. That is a great guess. I'm heavily banking on the fact that KB was the top answer for that one. I reckon that was the case there. That's a good guess. That's one of the lowest ones I've got. Played in the 70s for the Cats. Jesus Christ. Literally the only name in the first name that comes to my head is Sam Newman. And even then, I'm about 80% sure he played in the 70s. I know they call him the fossil, so he's obviously quite old. I don't know any other... I worked with Darren Flanagan, but I don't think he was old enough to play in the 70s. I think he was the 80s. And other than that, my memory of the Cats... I have no relevance to remember any of their plays from the 70s, but I'm gonna go Sam Newman. Okay, so we did. So we should get a tick for that one. 30%. Okay, so he's a pretty popular one. That's okay. I'm happy to wear a 30% one. Yeah, that is what it is. Played in the 1970s and 200 games. Now I know again, I have to revert back to Richmond because it's the only team I've got any resemblance of knowledge about in this space. So I know I didn't use Kevin Bartlett here with the straight just Richmond in the 70s, but I think I am going to use him here for the 1970s and 200 plus games because he obviously played, was it 403, I think it is. And again, for reasons I mentioned earlier, because I'm actually not really sure how many games Rex Hunt and Royce Hart and all that played. I know they played a lot, but I can't actually be certain they played over 200. So with that being said, let's lock in Kevin Bartlett because I know he ticks both the boxes and hope for the best. Oh, 92. Average rarity, 239. That is a shit-hot score. 92, perfect. Absolutely slayed that. What was his percentage there, KB? 7%. Wow. That is an absolute cracking Gridley, folks, if I do say so myself. Let me know in the comments who did we get that was lower than 29% for Motlop, and who did we get lower than 30% for Sammy Newman. They were probably the two that let me down if I want to use that because the rest of them are absolute bangers. So Kevin Morris brought me home nicely. There's 0.2%. 1% there for Peter Bell. Nation on 2%. So there we go. That is Gridley for today, the 26th of August. I'm pretty happy with this one. I haven't been able to complete the last couple, so I'm happy to hit all squares and to get a 92. That is elite territory, folks. So let me know what score you got in the comments below, and I'll see you for the next one.